and welcome to Mother Care. My name is Mary and it's always a pleasure and privilege bringing the show to you. Thank you for all your questions, your comments and all your emails. We truly appreciate it. And of course, that means you have to stay with us for Doctor on Demand to see which of your questions we're going to answer on the show today. Today on the program, we'll be doing something really important. It's cervical cancer, and I do hope you stay with us from now to the end of the show. We'll start off with our mini feature that explains a bit about the topic, and when we come back, we'll be talking to real women on the streets on this real issue. It's Mother Care. Stay with us.
There is an ailment which prevents mothers from seeing great moments in their children's lives, their graduations, weddings, great promotion at work, and seeing their grandchildren. Every mother's dream. This disease is cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is 100% preventable when detected early. If allowed to progress to the stage of full-blown cancer, it becomes very expensive to cure and highly devastating in presentations. Worldwide, one woman is killed every 2 minutes by the viral disease. World Health Organization says 630 million people are currently infected by the virus which causes cervical cancer. It is the human papillomavirus HPV which destroys tissues around the cervix, commonly referred to as the neck of the womb. Women are expected to take interest in knowing their status from the age of 18, but more especially from the age of 25. In Nigeria, one woman dies every hour of cervical cancer, and every year, a total of 8,000 women in the country die of this sexually transmitted ailment. Despite this reality, only 1% of the women population in Nigeria understand what cervical cancer is and how to ensure its prevention. To see that women are made aware and prepared to stay safe from this highly dangerous, slow-killing disease, steps are being taken by the National Cervical Cancer Prevention Program to help women detect this curable cancer early. The organization says the first major and wisest step for every woman to take is to ensure she is screened. Findings reveal women's reluctance to go for screening is responsible for the high incidence of the cancer. To curb the spread of this disease, coordinators of the National Cervical Cancer Prevention Program have been sensitizing religious bodies, the media, and civil society on the importance of early screening. Doctors say screening for cervical cancer is better done when a woman is not menstruating. If there is an existing vaginal discharge, she should first see a doctor for proper treatment before cervical cancer screening. To ensure the protection of the lives of the nation's women, the National Cervical Cancer Prevention Program is calling for the support of the government, corporate and religious bodies, as well as kind-hearted individuals.
Welcome back to Mother Care. Now, what do real moms out there know about cervical cancer? How does it affect them and even their daughters? How does it affect childbirth? What is the situation when we get on the street? Are we informed? Let's get all these answers and more.
Ever heard about cervical cancer? No. Do you know you have to do a test? No. Do you think it's important that you should do it?
To me, I don't feel that it's necessary.
Welcome back. You're still watching Mother Care, and it's time to talk with our doctor in house. I'll be talking to Dr. Femi Olalaye, and today it's something really important. First of all, I'm going to say thank you so much for being a part of Mother Care today.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always great to talk to you. Now, the focus today is cervical cancer, and yes, a lot of people are thinking, really? Well, really, I've been talking to Dr. Femi for a while, and I am amazed about the facts and the information about this topic. But first, Doc, let's start with the basic. What exactly is cervical cancer?
Thank you, Marian. Cervical cancer is cancer of the cervix, and the cervix is the neck of the womb of a woman. Every woman has a womb, and every womb has a neck, the outlet, basically. And it does a very simple function. The cervix, it allows the menstrual flow of the woman to come out every month. It allows sperm to go in, so that fertilization can take place, and then 9 months later, it allows the baby to come out because it has to open up, and then the baby comes out. And after the baby has come out, the afterbirth has come out, the cervix closes again. When daddy is busy making the phone calls, we've got a baby and all of that, the cervix is closing again, and it had better close. Otherwise the woman will have some other complications later. We'll come and talk about that in mother care later. So that is what the cervix does. So cancer of the cervix is cancer affecting just that area.
Okay. Wow.
And
that does all those three things.
Yes.
Now, how does cancer? How does that happen to the cervix? How does cancer get there?
We didn't know this before, and thankfully, recently we've now discovered, and recently, maybe about 2-3 decades now, that there is a virus. That's implicated in causing cervical cancer. And that virus is called human papilloma virus, HPV. And like all viruses, you can't see them. Like most viruses, you can't eradicate them. But more importantly, unlike most viruses, this one causes the cancer on the cervix. Like the common cold virus, it doesn't cause any cancer, but we can eradicate it, but we can't cure it. That's why we don't have a cure for the common cold. HIV doesn't cause cancer, but we can't even cure it yet, and we can only reduce the impact of it on the immune system. But for cervical cancer, the impact of this virus in the woman can be prevented.
It can be prevented.
And that is the beauty about talking about HPV. So when women hear HPV cancer, they should remember this is a cancer that can be prevented.
How is this virus introduced to the woman?
I'm sorry to have to admit to you, Miriam, it's from men.
It's you guys.
Oh God, no.
Can you beat that? We are just here happy-go-lucky.
I know, and I'm so sorry to tell you that every woman that's going to be involved in reproductive activity, and basically if I break it down, it's going to have sex, will be at risk. Wow, that's scary. And 90% to 99% of men in sub-Saharan Africa carry this virus on our genital area. So how do we acquire this virus? Before I even go to how do we transmit it? We usually acquire this virus, most people acquire this virus as boys, little children, running around playfully, skipping around in dirty water, in areas where they could have been exposed to the one form of germs or the other. And this virus stays in the body of the man, particularly around the groin area, and becomes what we call a normal flora, a normal organism on the genital area, but it doesn't do anything to him. Just like our mouth. Our mouth has a normal flora. And how do we get bacteria into our mouth? If you see a little child pick up anything, what are they going to do? Put it in their mouth. That's how bacteria got introduced into the system in the first place. So don't be amazed that little boys have bacteria around their genitals as well. Now, it doesn't do anything to them. It doesn't do anything to us, the bacteria in the mouth, unless we don't brush. Then they multiply. So because we wash daily as well, we reduce the amount of the bacteria and the germs in our genital area, particularly HPV, and it doesn't do anything to us until we make love to women, and it's not protected through condoms. So a man is not protective. So imagine because it's your groin area. So the man comes along, happy-go-lucky. Woman says, "We are welcome, my darling," and they have copulation. The man basically introduced the virus to her, and as you know, there's a whole lot of exchange going on during the sexual activity. The man will come back again and again and again, and therefore push it even further into this woman, and the woman will be asymptomatic for years. In fact, if that is not our only sexual partner, she's happily distributing it to other sexual partners. That's why HPV is the commonest sexually transmitted virus in the world.
Wow.
And sadly, a lot of women don't know this.
Okay. Now, Doc, you say she can have it for a number of years. How long?
Statistically, we know before the virus can change the cervix to turn to cancer, or scientifically I should say, it takes about 3 years minimum.
Okay.
So, and I will explain why this knowledge is very important to prevention. So we would recommend that women should know about this and checking their body 3 years after they've started become sexually active, because anytime from 3 years up to 15 years, the virus can be in the body of the woman, quietly changing the cervix without giving her any symptoms. And this knowledge, like I said, has been around for decades. So developed countries have designed their healthcare delivery system to inculcate regular screening for their women, so that they don't discover when it's too late, which sadly is happening to a lot of mothers at home.
Okay, so now the point is, every woman who is sexually active is at risk.
Yes.
Is at risk. So what can we do?
3 things women must do. The first one is what we are doing right now: raise awareness.
Okay.
It doesn't cost much to tell another woman, have you heard?
I'm telling you.
That's the first thing. Women must tell women, and therefore the job you're doing, the job I'm supposed to do, will be a lot easier. Because if women know that they're at risk of something, they will demand the next thing, which is screening.
Okay.
Once you become sexually active, which I believe every woman who is desirous of having children would at one point or the other get involved in, then 3 years down the line is their time to start.
Okay.
I cannot legislate what age people become sexually active, but you can have an idea. 3 years, I'm 25, I'll be married next year, 29 is my age.
Okay.
Or you were sexually active at 16. So, and you are 25 now, you are overdue. Or you are a mom in your 50s, you've never done screening.
You don't overdue.
You don't even have intercourse anymore, maybe because you're a widow, or something has happened to your husband, or you don't have intercourse anymore. You are still at risk.
Okay.
Or now I am born again, I'm a Christian, I don't do things like that anymore, but you are in your 30s and you did things like that back in university, you are at risk. So everyone is at risk.
Okay.
And 3 years is the minimum longest duration. You should leave your intervals between screening, because a woman could come for screening this year and her cervix is fine, and remember, statistic or scientifically we have discovered that it could take 3, 4, 5 years before the changes can show. So that means your next screening should be less than 3 years. So that if we pick it up this year, or we didn't pick it up this year, we can pick it up the following year. And then the third thing women can do is taking vaccinations.
Okay.
Because scientifically, again, we've discovered this thing is caused by a virus. So it makes sense to go back to the lab and say, well, can we develop a vaccine against this thing? And yes, we have a vaccine.
Wow.
Just like we have a polio vaccine, we have a measles vaccine, we now have a vaccine for HPV. Now, how do we give it to women? We can give babies the vaccine. We've discovered that we can actually give young girls from the age of 10 the vaccine. And it makes sense. If you give a 10-year-old a vaccine, she completes the doses of the vaccination within 6 months, she has immunity for life. So when she becomes sexually active in her 20s, and the gentleman comes along with his "I love you" and with his ulterior motives and with his HPV, she can take the love and the gifts and say, "Thank you very much, thank you very much. I don't want that." And the immunity will be so high.
Is that readily available?
It is now. Again, they call us a developing nation for the reason because we're developing. In developed countries, they already achieved 70 to 80% vaccination of all their girls.
Wow.
Of all girls in school age in England, in America, in Australia, in China, they've started achieving it, because it's such a wonderful tool that if it can prevent the generation of mothers
after
in the
a while,
future,
it just goes off. It's over.
We can be eradicated. In fact, because of that knowledge, I can confidently put my hand on my chest and say cervical cancer is the only cancer we can prevent 100%.
Wow.
That if a woman could take a vaccination and attend screening, she would never die from cervical cancer.
Oh my. Okay, Doc, I wish I could go on forever, but the good thing about Dr. Femi is that we're going to keep on having him, on the show, and he's going to give us more education. But look, I I know I'm supposed to be passing the message just like you, but I have been taught so much, and having a daughter myself, I'm calculating how many years more before she's got to have it. I don't have to go through, what a lot of us have to go through eventually. Thank you, Doc. This was so amazing. It was nice talking to you.
You're welcome.
And all the information you gave across. And of course, we're going to have you more on other days on Mother Care. Thanks again for being a part of the show. We're going to take a short break and so much more on Mother Care. Stay with us.
The brand is getting big, better every day. Like as I said, that they started with just two flavors, the apple and orange. But as we speak, you have the apple, the orange, the strawberry, the pineapple in the 500 ml category. Though in recent time, because of the fact that both the 500 ml and the 550 ml, we look at it that children record more waste as they will not be able to finish or empty the bottle. We decided to design the 210 ml to take care of this category. Because of its quality content, the nutritional value, all that it contributes to both the young and the old, Viju has some element of benefit if taken. You name them. All the protein value, all the calcium value are enshrined here. From 2005, when it commenced its operation in Nigeria till date, Viju had sponsored 17,844 schools, 1,200 non-NGO, and 14 federal government parastatals. I just give you few. The National Museum, the Federal Road Safety Corps, the Nigerian Police, the Nigerian Army. The orphanage are not left out. 2013 Viju Scholarship is the second edition. The first edition was in 2010 and was successfully. What we ask the children to do is get any of the labels from just 15 bottles. Use a sharp object and cut. You have the manufacturing date and the batch number here. You just extract this. 15 of these, you put it in an envelope. You get a sheet of paper as this. You write your details, your name, the name of your school, your telephone number. But if it's unfortunate you don't have a phone number, you put the phone number of your father or your mother, and you put it along with this label in an envelope. You address the envelope, you take it to the nearest post office and send it. We will get it here. As you can see this basket, what you have here, for now, these are the envelope we have received. This to say that the scholarship itself will be ending the last week of July, while the draws comes up in the first week of August. We are sure that the children of the poor will smile home individually with 1 million and others with 150,000 thereabout.
Wow, today has been amazing. I mean, I have been informed. I can't believe there's so many things that we can do to prevent it. In fact, I can't believe that men, you guys are the reason why we're here, but can't do without you. So I guess we have to prevent the issue. But really, it's so important that we know what we ought to do. Let's be informed. The facts and figures are amazing, and the fact that something easy, as simple as vaccinating a daughter, a girl child at the age of 10, can actually stop all of this how many years down the line. And then for those of us who have missed the vaccination, it's time for us to go out there to get screened. It is so important. Get a screening center near you and get screened. It is very important. Thank you so much for being a part of Mother Care. I always say it's a pleasure and privilege. And remember, being a mom, it's the best job.